Hello and welcome to Rentapoints, Xbox achievements on a budget. Mech games, I love them. They're my favourite genre. If you can even call mech games a genre. From the slow and heavy simulation style of MechWarrior and Steel Battalion, to the fast-paced action arcade style of Zone of the Enders and Armored Core, mech games have always featured highly on my list of favourite games. So, after taking my regular trip down to the local Blockbuster, I was pleased to find this, Front Mission Evolved. A third-person arcade mech shooter developed by Double Helix Games and published by Square Enix. Now, I know what you're thinking. Square Enix getting involved in a mech game? Yeah, it confused me a little as well. But hey, they only published it. It's not like they made it. But what about the guys who did make it? Double Helix Games. Well, here's a quick history lesson. Double Helix Games was formed in 2007 via a merger of the Collective and Shiny Entertainment. Since then, they have worked on a grand total of 4 games. Silent Hill Homecoming, G.I. Joe Rise of the Cobra, Front Mission Evolved, and Green Lantern Rise of the Manhunters. So you could say my expectations were set pretty low for this one. But you know what? It's not that bad. It's not going to knock the likes of Zone of the Enders off my top spot, but I did enjoy it. The mech designs aren't too silly, and the on-foot missions added a little variety to the gameplay. Unfortunately, that's about all the good praise I have for this one. I could go on about the intellectual stuff like the plot narrative and the game mechanics, but let's be honest, it's not what you or I am here for. But before we move on, there is one thing about this game that bugged me right from the start and still bugs me now. It's the name they chose for the mechs. Now, Zone of the Enders has orbital frames, Steel Battalion has vertical tanks, Lost Planet has vital suits, and Armored Core has Armored Cores, but you get the point. Front Mission has Wanzers. Yeah, you heard me right, Wanzers. And let me tell you, at no point during this game, no matter how often it is said or who it is said by, that name never ceases to sound tremendously stupid. Front Mission Evolved features an 8 to 10 hour single player campaign, a rather limited online multiplayer mode, and once again, like so many titles nowadays, no local multiplayer. Which seems like a contradictory trend. In this time of transition for Xbox between the hardcore and casual gaming markets, you would think that promoting shared multiplayer experiences is top of a game maker's list. The game itself hasn't been received all that well, with middle of the road scores from most reviewers. GameSpot gives it a 5.5 out of 10 and IGN a 6 out of 10. Front Mission Evolved has the standard 1000 gamer points up for grabs, spread across a pretty tiny 27 achievements, comparing that to my last review, Singularity, which has 50 achievements. Out of these 27, 20 are unlockable through the single player, and 7 through online multiplayer. Out of the 20 that make up the single player achievements, 11 are level and game completion awards, 3 are search awards, 3 are purchase awards, and 3 are skill awards. The level completion awards make up the majority of the single player gamer score, giving you a healthy 540 points just for finishing the game on hard. And if you didn't complete this game on hard, then go back and do it again, because this game is too damn easy. The 3 search awards ask the usual from you. Find a certain amount of a certain item. The first 2, Looking Well and Looking Great, are a paired achievement, giving you 20 points for finding 15 emblems and 50 points for finding all 45. The last search award, Great Shot, gives you 50 points for finding and destroying all sensors in the game. Search awards always feel aimed towards the completionists among us, usually requiring a guide or walkthrough to find all of the items, and unless you're prepared right from the get-go, you'll probably need multiple playthroughs as well. Because of this, search awards are among my least favourite achievement type, which is extra annoying as it makes up the second largest awards group for this game, accounting for 120 points of the single player gamer score. The last achievements I want to talk about are the online achievements. Now, I don't normally bother mentioning these, simply because in the short time I have the game to rent, I rarely get a chance to play any multiplayer, let alone get any achievements for it. But there are a couple of interesting ones that I feel deserve some attention, namely the achievement called Petals of Edelweiss. Now, this is a bit of an odd kind of achievement. It doesn't award you for completing an action, or finding a hidden item, or even reaching a certain rank. it can only be described as a luck achievement. The requirement for this award simply reads, defeat a player who has the Petals of Edelweiss achievement over Xbox Live. Now, think about this. When the game was released, who has this achievement? Anyone who buys the game won't have it. It has to start somewhere. But once it does, this achievement becomes easier to get over time. I have seen an achievement like this before in which the developers started off with the achievement, and you had to beat them to get it. But this one literally changes over time. What was nearly impossible to get when the game was first released will be commonplace for anyone who plays a multiplayer match in 6 months' time. This is my favourite type of achievement. It offers a little bit of a moral choice for anyone desperate enough to get it. Do you spend days playing through matches straight away, trying to find that one person who has this achievement? Or do you wait 6 months and get it probably without even trying? After managing to complete the story on hard once and not playing any multiplayer, I managed a total of 580 points. Not the highest score in the world, but the achievements I managed to unlock were very easy and came almost without trying. The majority of the time, I was just focused on completing the game. Sadly, this one doesn't go in my recommended list. It's not bad for the points, but if you really are just after the gamer score, then there are many more generous games out there. This was an interesting game for me. My expectations were low, and the other review sites really didn't have any positive things to say about it. But I still kind of enjoyed it. The game was relatively easy until the second to last boss fight, which took me over a day to beat. The mech design and animation reminded me a little of early Armored Core games. Aside from that, it's nothing fancy. Definitely not one I would purchase, and I would probably never even play it again. Well folks, that's it for this edition of Rentapoints. I'm off to play with my Wanzer and watch some heavy gear. See ya!